How to decide if you should take an education loan to study abroad? Very interesting topic. Everybody is trying to sell you an education loan, but nobody is telling you whether you should take an education loan or not to study abroad. So let's take a breather and understand if taking an education loan makes sense for you or not. So we are going to discuss a few scenarios and try to understand the thought process through which one should go through to get to a decision whether they should take an education loan or not. And later in the comments, you can let me know if I missed any scenario or is specific your scenario, and I can answer it specifically for you there. So let's start with the first scenario. So the first scenario is when you have no money and you have no job. So it's kind of a scenario where on both the parameter, job and money, you are on the lower side. Now in this situation, whether it makes sense to go abroad, and that too by taking an education loan. So the question that you need to ask is, can I get an admission into a college abroad from which after graduation I will earn enough to pay the EMIs of the loan? So let me explain you by taking an example. Let's say if you can find an PG diploma course in Canada which costs you 20 lakh rupees for 2 years. All you need to ask that after that PG diploma, when you graduate, can you earn approximately enough to pay 32,000 rupees as the EMI, because that is the approximate EMI that you are supposed to pay after you graduate when you take a 20 lakh rupees loan. If yes, because you don't have a job, you don't have money, and you are confident enough to get an admission to in one such opportunity, then it makes sense. Go abroad, take a 20 lakh rupees loan, study for 2 years, then earn well, repay the EMI and save a little bit money for your future as well. So here it makes sense. So these are the questions that you need to ask. Now let's discuss the scenario number 2. That is when you have no money or savings in your hand, but you have a job. So that's a very tricky situation because you are already working somewhere, you are already earning something, and your life is going okay-ish, maybe, or maybe it is great. That is you to decide. So first and foremost thing that you need to ask that, are you happy with your job? Second, can you achieve your career dreams without any additional degree? For example, I am not going for abroad education because my career dreams is something which I can achieve by being in India without doing any additional degree, and thus I am not going to study abroad. But let's say your career dream demands an additional degree. So you need to ask that, is that degree needs to be from in India or from abroad? So as we are talking specifically for abroad, let's go in that direction only. So let's say if you decide you need an additional degree to upskill yourself or to achieve your career dream, and you have to go abroad. So the next question that you need to ask yourself is similar to the last scenario, that hey, can you get an admission to a college where after graduation you earn enough to pay your EMI? That is the first question. So just to get you a sense, let's say if you're going for a 2-year masters from US, typically cost around 30 lakh rupees. Your typical EMI will be 50k per month. So after graduating from that particular college, from that particular course, will you be able to earn enough to repay 50k per month? That is the question you need to ask. But while doing this analysis, and I would recommend to do this analysis, you can also use Gyandan Estimate Future Earning tool. That too tell you, compared to what you are earning today, if you go leave it, go abroad, then take into opportunity cost also into the consideration, and tells you what is the additional saving you have in specific amount of time. So this tool is available under the tool section called Estimate Future Earning, and you should use this tool to find out if by leaving the job and going for abroad, does that make sense for you or not. Now in this scenario, because you had no money to start with and you reach to a conclusion that it makes sense for you to go abroad, take an education loan and repay it on time. Let's discuss the third scenario where you have ample amount of money and maybe you can have job or maybe you don't have job. Let's keep that aside. So the point to note is that you have ample amount of money. First of all, I want to congratulate you to start with an upper hand, because you already have an upper hand, because you have an option to choose your career. You don't have money problems in life, which is not the case with many students and many people around. You have freedom to choose your career, your dream, your line of work. Let's understand what to think in those scenarios. So whatever career choices you make, the first question you need to ask, does that involve going abroad? If yes, then the second question you need to ask, do you have enough money? Even ample amount can be less for abroad education, because there are courses available which cost you crores as well. So you need to ask, do you have sufficient amount of money to cover that particular course or college fee? If no, then you have to take an education loan. If yes, even in that scenario, I would recommend you to take an education loan. And hear me out why. So typically when you take an education loan, and let's say from public sector bank, let's just assume that in such scenario you are eligible for tax benefits. So effectively you can get money at a very lower cost after tax benefits. That means, just to give you a sense, for example, if you are taking an SBI education loan, which Jandhan helps, you can get money at interest rate of 6% post tax benefits. So in a way, effectively, you can get money at 6%. Now, you need to ask yourself that can you invest your money somewhere where you can make better returns than that? If you can make better returns than that, you can use your money, put it somewhere, invest it in property, mutual funds, bonds, gold, NFTs, whatever you feel like, and use the money from the bank, which is very cheap for your education. And at the end of it, you can repay back your loan and earn extra amount on that invested money as well, along with the degree. I hope that makes sense for you. So that was my thought process on how to reach to the conclusion whether you should take an abroad education loan or not. As I mentioned at the start of the video, if I missed any particular scenario, let me know in the comments below and I'll answer that for you. Thanks a lot and best of luck.